Blah, 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 blah. What's up, everybody? Peace. It's your boy, Amon. I'd like to welcome you guys to the next edition of Let's Build.
Chill.
And today's topic will be integrity. We had a good conversation about this one.
Yep.
Snitches.
Oh man. Anyway,
first and foremost, go ahead, Caesar.
Good. No, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
We'll start off with a track or whatever.
Yeah.
Say what's up, everybody. Peace, Mel, Maria, Ted, Asani, Susan, Gwen Curry. Oh, what's up, Gwen Curry?
Yo.
Okay. Sean Griffin, Elizabeth, Val, Pam.
There's a lot of people I haven't seen
coming
before.
In fast. What's up, man?
Woo.
That's
yeah.
What's up?
So
integrity is in the house right now.
We will obviously start the show with a little music selection until Commander Ashtar arrives. I have chosen Trinity, which is on the Universal Brothers page, and I will put the link in a little later after the introduction of the show. All right, so here we go.
That wasn't it.
Ride for the bridge. I'm not confetti, no doubt. Chill. Red. Lit. Chill. Every day a new objective. Bird's eye perspective. Stay selective with projections. Programs artificial, so contagious, self-destructive. Promoted by the ones that control the ancient souls. See beyond them and being one with the fabric of existence. G.O.D. Have a flip and wrap the line. Check the hatred, check the matrix. For the bridge of the spaceship, no static. We can like the apple jack to the side. Keep it low with my splatter in. Yeah. Yo. Yo. You heard. Yeah. Hold me 4 seconds. I meant nothing. Yeah. Throughout the multiverse, always one family. Yo, cool breed, Joe Sport, infinite with intelligence. It's the moment that's relevant. You can keep that resentment, no stopping this progress. Say peace when I'm present. They give me pound when in London. Break a dollar and holler. Makes sense when I rock it. Love is greater than logic. Crystal beats in my pocket. Jan walk here to heal it. Medicine man with the music. Couple raps for your illness. Hit my jack in the morning. Out of the darkness, you dawn in. Hey, yeah. Yo. 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 Forever and ever. Boom. Yeah. Yo. Intergalactic homes. Yo. Rational programs.
Those are dope, man. That remind me of classics. That's a classic.
That's a classic joint, man. Yes, sir.
My bad, T. Just sitting in front of you like that, bro. We got this thing up a little teeny bit. So, y'all ready to work?
Yep.
We all ready to work in here. Greetings, divine. Always a great pleasure and honor to connect with you all. Indeed, you good?
Yep.
All ready to work in here. Once again, I bid you a great greeting and welcome. Of course, this is my God, it's our second season. We're moving deeper and deeper into the realms of self-realization. Of course, this comes with a deep sense of personal responsibility and integrity, if you will. So once again, thank you all for being here. Of course, today's topic is integrity. Thanks once again to all of our assistants, all the services, all of you continuing to shine your light throughout the surface of planet Earth in this now moment. Big up to C's and Amun Ra for continuing the services and supporting us all in this process. You know, Maestro, big up to Born 13 in the building. We're still here doing what we does for the new earth. So, as always, before we connect and share this sacred space of being, of communication, of connection within the divine heart space, through the communication from who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. Of course, the intent is to connect with you on a very deep and intimate level as far as the nature of our connection and being one. In order for this connection to remain pure and the most potent necessary for the purpose of this healing that we share this now, we're going to start our day with an exercise, which basically is about us connecting with our heart space and releasing all the energy that has come here to fore. All that has been needs to be released. All that we assume, the thought patterns that we attempt to project out into that which is an illusion, which we know is a future, should be released at this time, so we can be here 100% present and open to the connection that we share and who we are, if you're angelic guardians, as we communicate with you, not only through the sonic expressions being expressed here through this vehicle, but more importantly, within your own heart space, as we remain present with you in this now moment, wherever you may be here in this dimension. So 60-second meditation. It's getting pretty normal for all. You got a lighter seed so you get some incense going, bro? Sure. Please. 60-second meditation. Once again, there's no need to attempt to change anything about your physical environment right now. If there's people working outside, kids playing, a TV on somewhere, there's no need to bother it. Let it be. The point now is to be still, allow all to be, allow yourself to be in a place of complete acceptance of all that is this now moment. We're letting go of everything. We're going to be still for about 60 seconds. We breathe. We consciously connect with our heart space. Now, this time, we're going to do it a little differently. What I would like you to do is, as we connect, visualize an umbilical cord, if you will, a golden cord moving from your heart space down into the center of this planet. In the center of planet Earth, there's a core sun. This is the heart of planet Gaia, the hosting party, our Mother Earth, if you will, here on the surface of planet Earth. There's a core sun in the middle of this planet. What I would like you to do, what we would like you to do, is visualize this core moving down light speed to the center core sun of this planet and connecting with Gaia. You recognize Gaia, let her know that you're here and your intentions are to connect and express an appreciation for this connection as we continue to shine a light and ground ourselves in this now moment for these communications. So once again, 60 seconds, umbilical cord from the heart space to the core of Gaia, and we are still. You ready? Let's go. Slowly allow yourself to return to a conscious awareness of your extremities, your legs, your arms, the entirety of your physical vehicle. Begin to open your eyes again. A beautiful connection indeed. Connecting with Gaia is one of the greatest aspects of grounding, showing appreciation for the hosting planet and all of the blessings that we're provided here in the physical amongst this experience that is the human species. A beautiful experience indeed. As expressed before, a great honor and pleasure to connect with you all today here on Let's Build. Of course, our subject matter today is integrity. I feel it's necessary to restate that throughout the first year of our Let's Build seminars, we focused for the most part on scratching the very surfaces of the spiritual awakening process and some of the values that come with a conscious lifestyle and an intuitive way of being, where we realize what it is that we're doing here on planet Earth in this now moment. We're still in that phase. However, I feel it's necessary for us to continue to expand on different aspects of some of the subject matters that we touched on originally in our first part of the series, to enhance and speak more about what it is that we're here on planet Earth to express and embrace within ourselves. Of course, the heart space knows all that is this information being expressed in this now moment. However, once again, the process is about expansion, an expansion of our conscious awareness as to what it is that we're here to do, what it is that we're here to express, the nature of our true being beyond the chatter of the ego mind identity. Speaking about integrity today. Excuse me. Move the camera a little bit so we can begin. Contextually, I feel it's necessary to begin here. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principle, uprightness, and being a personal choice in having or expressing moral and ethical standards. Truth. The most potent sound vibration expressed here in this definition. Truth. Integrity. The act of being true. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. A common phrase used quite often here amongst the human species. So help me God. The truth so help me God is expressed at the end of the statement. To help me God, it's necessary to realize who God is. God is you. This is an affirmation of oneself and recognizing and having the intent of aligning with the truth of oneself. The core truth, the foundational truth of one's being remains that frequency that is eternal, which is peace. This is at the foundation of all that we express today. Peace. In ethics, integrity by many is being honest, truthful, and accuracy in one's actions. It evolves from the Latin word integer, apologies, meaning to be whole and complete. The Latin word integer means to be whole and complete. This is where the word integrity derives in the English language, coming from the Latin word. In context, integrity is based on an inner sense of wholeness. A sense of wholeness, a feeling of being complete, a feeling, a vibration of being aligned with one's own character. It's a consistency of one's own character. One's own actions according to one's own values that they claim to have or claim to embrace. So let's recognize that for a moment. Yes, the contextual definitions having to do with truth and values, principles, morality. Outside of truth, these words, these sound vibrations have a very broad span of vibrational frequency, if you will. When it comes to morality or principles, they have a broad sense of definition contextually. However, all that's being expressed, the consistency, the only thing that's consistent amongst these sound vibrations remains the feeling of wholeness and completeness within oneself. If we go back to the original definition of integrity in general, the uprightness and accuracy of one's actions remains a personal choice. So when we deal with integrity, we're in a way dealing with a very intimate subject matter. And when I say intimate, I mean personal. I mean personal because it evolves around one's own level of consciousness, one's own level of awareness, one's own sense of spiritual maturity. I wrote this down and I'll restate it here. There's a level of consciousness where all souls act based on their own level of awareness. However, there's an intuitive recognition of all as reflections that develops with spiritual maturity. I'll say that once again so we can absorb it. We're dealing with a lot of core definitions and values here, a lot of sound vibrations here. So I'll say it once again very slowly. There's a level of consciousness where all souls act on their own level of awareness. However, there's an intuitive recognition of all as reflections that develops with spiritual maturity. This is to say, yes, we're all operating from our own level of consciousness, our own level of awareness. But at the root, at the core of our being, in the center of that plasma ball, as Zena so eloquently stated as an analogy, at the core of that plasma ball, at the core of our being, there's an intuitive awareness which knows what is completely aligned with who we are as a creator. And saying consciously, I can feel that what I'm doing is okay at present. I feel comfortable with this. However, I feel comfortable with it as I'm doing it. Yeah. But at the same time, in peace, as I calm down and move away from the activity itself, I may feel off. I don't necessarily consciously understand what's off about the activity I'm participating in based on my level of awareness. However, there's something that is not 100%, I don't feel 100% centered or whole with or complete with this nudging, this notion, this intuitive sense of being off keel. I recognize through my level of sensitivity, and I connect with this notion more and more as I cultivate my own spiritual maturity, and I recognize, or at least embrace, a deep level of intent to align with feeling comfortable with all that I'm doing, all that I'm expressing here in the physical. I intend to feel comfortable and complete, to feel whole about everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm expressing. This is an intuitive activity. This intuitive activity is where infinite intelligence is talking to me as an individual, saying, okay, you're comfortable with this at present. However, there's still some healing that needs to take place. There's still some alignment that needs to take place within your conscious awareness. Possibly I'm not conscious of what is out of alignment with what I'm doing at the moment. However, the infinite intelligence that I recognize within myself based on my sense of spiritual immaturity and recognizing how important this calling is, how important this notion is, how intelligent this notion is within the core of my being. I recognize its intelligence and I pay attention to it because I recognize that there's something mentally I don't consciously recognize at present, but the intent to align is allowing the experience to unfold where I recognize what may be off keel or out of alignment with what I feel comfortable with doing, what I feel comfortable with saying at present. It's just I'm open to that which is being expressed internally. hypocrisy. Dealing with hypocrisy quite often within the human experience. Why? Well, there's many souls who have an intent to live to certain standards, to certain principles, to certain values. We wish to be honest and truthful and respectable and integral and responsible as we say we are. We wish to live out these values. The tongue, the words express a vibrational energy that a lot of times we would like to embrace, we like to have, we like to operate from all the time. But being honest with oneself, and being honest with oneself, it is quite easy to speak such activity and not live such an activity in practice. This is why this is so frequent amongst humanity. It's very easy to say beautiful things about ascension and character and being honest with oneself, being honest with others. Oh, I meditate all the time. I get up and meditate every day, and I do it for 20 minutes and this. And yeah, I meditate all the time. It's very easy to say these things. Once again, I'm not placing any value judgment on anyone. However, we do recognize the reality versus the words that's being expressed amongst many of you. I do this every day. I do that every day. I'm totally focused for ascension. But then there's the actual action. There's the actual intent. There is the actual drive, that which is actually being done, what is being carried out. We can say things. We can say, oh, I get up every morning and I go hard and this. But when it's time to get up, there's very few who are actually up doing what they say they do. And it's not necessarily about checks and balances and someone watching you do what you say. It's about you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Who's God? You. It's not anybody else. It's not people watching or whatever the case may be. They say true integrity is what you do when you feel that no one's observing. So having someone actually observe you, or having to have another observe in order to motivate or drive your actions in that which you do, is a form of dependency. This isn't integrity at all. Leaders don't need an audience to do what leaders do. Leaders do what leaders do even when it's only the leader there. Doesn't matter who's there, who's watching. Doesn't matter if 33 people are here in the live feed. The Let's Build is going to go on. It could be one person. It could be no people here. I would still be here expressing the nature of this guidance. This is spiritual maturity. This is my own sense of integrity and intent and drive. There's a code of ethics an integrity within my being, within this vessel. I know what I volunteered to do. I know what I signed up for. As I continue to do this work, as I continue to serve, we're provided with many opportunities to serve. The opportunity to serve is a great honor. However, whenever we have the opportunity to serve, there's obligations I place upon myself when I tell others what it is that we do. I say, oh, we do this or we do that. My integrity, my ethics is based on me actually executing and doing what I say I'm going to do. When you say what you do and you do what you say you do, there's a level of respect that comes with that. That means you have a deep sense of integrity and value, personal ethics. I'm not going to say that I'm going to do something that I can't do and not execute. It's just my own personal sense of honor and service. And I realize the nature of the opportunities that's being presented and being an honor. It's always an honor to serve anytime you have the ability to serve. However, once again, this integrity has its foundation within the individual. It would not be possible to do the services and execute the services that's expressed on a daily basis amongst our collective unless there was a sense of integrity within myself to do the work that's necessary when no one is looking. There's a coined term that is repeated over and over again here amongst humanity. And I'm bringing these things up only because we're the leaders of the new earth. And it's necessary for us to address the distortions that may still be present within our own presence as we continue to awaken and intend to be of service to all of humanity, to all life here on planet Earth. That coined term is you can't trust nobody. I've heard that I wouldn't put it past myself to have heard that over 100,000 times consciously in this lifetime. Started off very young as an open-hearted child and saying, don't let them ride your bike. You can be friends with them, but don't let them ride your bike. And the little kids will come and say, hey, this is a nice bike, man. Can I ride? Can I ride? I just want to ride around the block one time. I just want to ride down the street. I'm going to come right back. I've done so. All you know how to do is love. All I've ever known how to do is love. I've never been the suspicious, fearful type. I've always wanted to experience a sense of connection with others and be friends with all the little kids on the corner on my block. You want to let them ride your bike. Sometimes it's worked out, and sometimes it hasn't. Sometimes I had to go and find my bike, or my mother had to go and find my bike. But the point is this. I recognize that integrity is one of the greatest attributes a soul can have here on planet Earth. And I'll repeat so you absorb it. Integrity is one of the greatest attributes a soul can have here on planet Earth. Why is that? Because most souls don't. Honesty, integrity. People say you can't trust other people so much. And the reason being is because they don't trust themselves. They haven't cultivated a sense of integrity within. Quick to point the finger and say you can't trust other people. However, once again, as awakened souls, we must realize that we're always experiencing our own energy. How integral are you? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you dissolving the exercise of deception within your own presence? We're experiencing our own energy. As you heal, as you become more and more honest and upfront with yourself, your experience of honesty amongst others, integrity amongst others, ethics, respect, and morals, and lack of judgment, and all these other attributes that many of us attempt to place responsibility on others about, we experience ourselves because we've embraced and cultivated these attributes within our own being. Integrity is an aspect of personal responsibility. Integrity is only cultivated through one taking the time to look themselves in the mirror and being completely honest. I stay away from using the word brutal because it's necessary to be gentle with yourself. Being gentle with yourself is necessary as you heal. However, in being newly awakened throughout my experience, I realized that it was necessary to be accountable. And a lot of times that accountability came with me being brutally honest with myself and not attempting to sugarcoat things and actually be able to take it. Looking in the mirror and taking responsibility for all that has unfolded, all that has said, all the actions that have taken place, all the things that I were consciously aware of as far as it came to what I've done, the decisions I've made, and accepted them because that was the only way for me to begin the process of healing. Off of the strength of me being able to say, yeah, you did this. It's nobody else's fault. It's not even your fault. It's your blessing. It's where you were consciously. However, now you're conscious and aware on a greater level, and you must move forward. However, through being honest, we recognize that we have the intent not to make these mistakes again, these failures again, these misjudgments again, as we continue to move forward. Why? Because I have an intent to serve. And in order to serve, I must be strong. A deep sense of personal integrity and honor, dignity, value, self-respect. These are things that I must embrace on a very, very deep level within myself in order to shine that particular light. We spoke about free will a couple of builds ago. And within that bill, we spoke on free will being the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Now, let's dive a little deeper. The ego's idea of freedom is doing what you want to do when you want to do it, regardless of how it affects reflections of self. Once again, free will is the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. This is your freedom. The freedom of will, the ability to choose. Yes, you can. However, this is all there is to it when it comes to the ego's definition of freedom. However, from a place of spiritual maturity, we recognize that freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom for all comes with a sense of responsibility. Spiritual maturity recognizes this. Yes, I can do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. However, my spiritual maturity recognizes that true freedom amongst all comes with a sense of responsibility. This responsibility is about recognizing my connection responsibility comes with the connection with integrity. I digress. The freedom from a spiritually mature place of being comes with responsibility. This responsibility comes with a connection or is highly integrated with the nature of integrity. And when we talk about integrity, once again, we're talking about an innate sense of integrity. The innate sense of integrity is based on the infinite intelligence within our own heart space. There's a knowing always within the center of our being that knows where we're centered, where we're whole, where we're doing that which is in alignment with our true sense of being, within our true nature. Our true nature is peaceful. Our true nature recognizes and respects all other aspects, all reflections of life as a reflection of who we are. Once again, you do to others which you would be open to embrace within yourself. This varies, of course, because we all are operating within different levels of consciousness. However, consciously, we have the sense of responsibility as awakening souls to only do that amongst others, which we're comfortable with others doing amongst us. or doing to us, vice versa. However, and I'm making the last couple of points. So we're kind of moving towards our 30-minute mark now. Our consciousness, our level of consciousness can always be mixed up with conditioning of the program, of the illusion, our past, the programs of our families, the environments that we're raised amongst. And this is where the innate sense of integrity comes in, because beyond the conditioning, the mental conditioning of our past or our surroundings, the people that we've been around the entirety of our experience here in the physical, our conscious experience here in the physical, there's always that innate sense of integrity that recognizes and is in alignment with the infinite intelligence of the heart space. It always knows that which is in alignment with who you are as God. Speak freely for a second. This will be my last little go around. The innate integrity that I speak of, this is the difference between being open and self-centered. We just spoke on the ego's idea of what freedom is, or free will, if you will. And once again, when we're dealing with the ego mind, you have to understand that it can be very clever, very, very clever and cunning when it comes to speaking on things that we consider to be right and wrong. When you're dealing with the logical mind and spirituality, or the ego mind and spirituality, the ego can explain things forever and ever and try to make things make sense in order to justify that which is being expressed amongst one's reality, especially when it comes to spiritual influence, or once again, a position of my own and actually being a leader here amongst our ground crew. There's a difference in being self-centered and being open, embracing that innate sense of integrity and actually having a intent to be self-serving. I bring this up because it's seen quite often amongst those who have certain levels of influence when it comes to this awakening process. Yes, there are many who have a sense of influence when it comes to the awakening process based on their ability to articulate complex spiritual values from a platform that is intriguing, draws a lot of interest, and once again, the benefits that come with having a certain level of influence. It could be attention, it could be attempting to sell something, it could be monetary gain, it could be things like connection. Some souls do the work that I'm doing because they have an intent of, some want to get girls, just to be frank. This is always a turnoff for me. The intent was the start here. after experiencing a life of many, many temporary stimuli when it came to money and resources, physical things, lots of cars and jewelry and things of this nature. I mean, once again, I embrace such an essence. I still have such an essence, which is natural in my being. However, I have a deep sense of personal integrity. Once again, I'm not willing to break my character for physical trinkets or some type of connection with another. This is not in my nature. The intent here was based on me experiencing such an influx of physical stimuli and still not having a deep sense of concrete, eternal fulfillment. The spark that we all share, those of us who are awakened, those amongst the light worker, indigo, starseed community, we have this spark within our being, this flame of intentions to experience a sense of freedom, a sense of fulfillment that we're accustomed to, being that we've experienced the reality of unity on a very, very deep spiritual level before. We are from planets and future star or future timelines in soft star systems where we embrace a sense of integrity and warmth and freedom and unity beyond the enslavement, restriction, and limitation that we experience here on planet Earth on a constant basis, on a daily basis. We have this flame because we know what it feels like to be free, to truly be free. We know what it feels like. And based on this feeling, this vibration is so deep and innate within our being, there is the drive to return to such a frequency. I experienced the empathy for the world, for planet Earth, for all life, for the animals, for the humans as a species. Experienced a deep sense of empathy and connection with all after realizing that amongst all the glitter and gold, that there was only one thing that was truly real, and that was the love that was in my own heart space. After reading tons and tons and tons of books and videos and everything I could get my hands on and attempting to realize self, I returned to the mirror. After the external efforts, there's always a return to that which is internal. This innate sense of integrity, this embrace of the whole, this embrace of all life and being that which is within me as God. This was the intent of taking such a journey and coming to this place of influence where we all are connected now, and I have the ability, the gift of being able to communicate with you today. The honor that comes with being able to express such reality, such complex spiritual experiences and principles in such an elegant way. Once again, it's a great honor for me to be here. I'm humbled, to say the least. However, the intent of me being here has been the foundation of me actually being here, and the innate sense of integrity is what has always allowed me to keep what it is that I'm doing here honest. This is what allows my heart space to be able to communicate with you without allowing the ego construct or the mental identity to hijack what it is that's taking place here. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, integrity is the foundation of our ability to ground, our ability to heal, and our ability to shine the light as leaders for the new earth, as examples for the generation, the many crystal children that are here to assist in such a process. This is the foundation, one of the pillars that allows us to see the new earth and the freedom that comes with such a reality. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being here. Of course, a great honor, a privilege. We're going to take a break, have a few guests here at the Rock. Of course, we're going to have our powwow, our circle of discussion on integrity and what it means amongst our collective on our individual levels of consciousness, And of course, after that, we'll take another break and get to your inquiries, some of your shares, comments, and continue to expand as one family on the nature of integrity. Thank you for being here once again, of who we are, of the Angelic Realms of the Galactic Council, of the Galactic Federation Light, and who I am as your Commander Ashtar. Squad goals. We love you. CeeLo.
Yo.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Integrity. The truth of you. And on to others. With that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and go right into it. This song right here is titled Whole Truth, produced by New Jersey. This is actually a song that AZ recorded while he was in London. At the same time, I was in Korea, so this one right here really hit home. And yeah, just go ahead and start playing. I'll put the link in the comments as normal.
Yeah. Skywalker. Pick up the jersey, you know. So I swear. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
New Jersey did it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Intergalactic homes. Yo. But they jump bang out. Yeah. Big pivot. Yo. Looks like this. Look, a small step for man, giant leap for mankind. Taking off like T-9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That get down, you can't count. Even on Sesame Street, purple and rocking the king. Beyond linear space, contracting in graves. Aaron Hall in the days, yo. Don't be afraid, fly together we flock. Much presence, I put the beat to the box. Making music with mouth, Joe, I solemnly swear. They tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When I'm in the booth, so help me God. Yeah, I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When I'm in the booth, so help me God.
New Jersey.
Yo, Lord, and we be speaking truth. On the corner we use 360 degrees, right outside of the church. Open heart with the work. All real soldiers know your left is first. Forward march to command when it's time to expand. Right horse on the grind, without powers combined. Captain Planet, we at it. Service on automatic. Kid ascended the bastards, archangelic protection. Galactic civilizations must be work with the magic. Ain't no thinking about it. All my brothers and sisters, staying as one in the essence. Royal family, the blessings, always on the job, yo. I go through ascension, cause we here from the heavens. Breathing abundance with the love, yo, it ain't no front. Yo, it ain't no front. Yeah, true.
Thursday.
Yes, sir. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Here to Let's Build. Once again, our talk today is on integrity, and we are in our second portion, which involves our conversation here at the Rock. We're going to talk with everybody here present in the physical about the nature of integrity and what it means to them, and maybe we have a couple of stories to share. And yeah, thank y'all for being here as always. Continuing to be attentive. So what's good, team? What's good, Chili? You trying to join our conversation today, or you just observing? Huh?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Huh? No, please not. I feel like, oh no, please not. It's all good. You can observe, man. If I was gonna talk. What's good, John?
Yeah, good.
Integrity. Integrity. It's like, oh, no, please, not me. Integrity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's good, boy? How you feel about that, bro?
Integrity.
Yeah, like, give us a situation that you had in your life that you had to, you know what I mean? Like, integrity came up in your reality that you really had to look at yourself and be 100% honest, man.
Well, you know, that integrity that feels almost that can happen on a regular basis if you have to either use your integrity or you either trust someone else's integrity.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a story,
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had one in a long time. I've used some integrity.
Well, I got some old joints, like when you was a kid or something.
Well, how about this? A statement. I think your integrity, it is important for you to have integrity. I don't really have a story so much as a statement, but if you know you and you walk around with, you know, of course, you with you all the time, then you need to have a certain level of integrity when you're dealing with other people. For our day-to-day life, I mean, whether it's family, friends, or workplace, or business, or whatever, that you have to have a level of integrity within yourself. And if you have that integrity, then when you meet someone else or you have to deal with someone else, you want to keep that integrity, and you hope that the other person has the integrity as well on their end. But it's not always the case. So long as you have your integrity intact, then things kind of work out a little bit smoother in your life. So that's what I have for integrity. It's just more a statement. Supposedly. But like I say, if you have integrity in yourself, it's not always guaranteed that someone else has the same integrity that you have. So you
on that note, why does the good guys always get come up shorthanded?
Who says the good guys come up shorthanded?
That's not a guarantee. That's not guaranteed.
I'm gonna make a rule when we doing these discussions. Y'all gotta stay off y'all phones so I can pay attention. We live, you know what I mean? Like big comments and all that kind of stuff can wait. We talking now. So go ahead, son. My bad.
I'm gonna be integrity.
Good guys don't always finish last. Good guys just maybe miss the opportunity of a bad situation. You know, because I mean, you know, I think like in school, you're dealing with school or something like that. You say good guys finish last. I guess there's something. I guess something a little bit with integrity. If a good person has some integrity, they don't take every opportunity that presented to them.
Not even taking opportunity. I'm talking about like opportunities that's basically, let's just use, for example, the things that's going on in the world today. The stuff that's going on in America. I'm going to be very fucking freaking specific.
No, you cussing.
Jokers being open, jokers being honest, jokers are thinking they're doing the right thing by pulling over, but then they end up being brutalized or dead or something.
Are you saying this police lack integrity?
I'm just saying. This
Call
is
stay and stay.
This is you being very integral and being honest with the situation. Okay, law is after me. Let me pull over and do the right thing. But the right thing comes in a real mess up situation. That's just one example.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend the police, or I'm not going to persecute the police at the same time, but they're people like we are, and their training may put them in certain situations where they have a little bit of level of fear.
Yeah, but are they being?
Is their integrity being questioned
in themselves?
Oh, that is hard
Like,
to tell.
I thought he was, he was about to kill me and blah blah blah. Is it basically integrity?
Okay, after the fact, you may be lying, but during the incident, fear may take over the integrity.
Yeah, but that's what I want to get to my point.
So then afterwards, then it's the integrity of the officer say, yo, I was fearful. My training I wasn't properly trained, and I was fearful, and I moved too soon.
That was part of the training. But then
the training is not properly trained. Properly trained, two different.
Okay.
Not properly trained, and fear took over. But then afterwards, is when you start to get through the paperwork. What they do the paperwork is when your integrity should kick in. But it's like I said, you're not, everyone's not guaranteed.
Everybody ain't gonna do that.
Have the level of integrity that you may have.
That's why I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna caveat right off of that, basically, and go into that integrity inside yourself. It's not about trusting people and all that stuff. Do you even trust, like you said, do you even trust yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Can you even go that deep to have that integrity enough to tell yourself, I'm gonna listen to what this person said, or this is right, or this is wrong. The facts are in my face, but I'm gonna be ignorant to ignore it. I would say a lot of people choose to not be honest to themselves in many different aspects. It doesn't matter how many facts are right there in their face. I ain't gonna say, believe in what I believe in, see what I see, and listen to what I say, but the facts are kind of facts.
Yeah,
Well, facts are
facts, and truth is true.
Facts are facts, but facts can be distorted. There's all in perception.
Yep, true, but still, deep down inside. I'm gonna use another messed up example. Back then, black people was called monkeys because we stink, blah 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 blah. Was that a fact? Could that really be perceived? Did a black person really look like a monkey compared to a monkey? Come on now. That's is that somebody actually telling themselves? Is there somebody accepting the lie that they telling themselves?
Yeah.
How you gonna perceive that? Like, how you gonna really perceive that?
People talk about people all the time, and then when you actually encounter a person, and you realize, but he got the David Beckham cologne on it. It ain't true. So that's. I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky ones because we have the opportunity to come over here in Europe, and I'm quite sure we met some people that were from like Tennessee or Midwest. I'm saying
candy bars and shoestrings.
No. We're not talking about the indigenous people of this place. We're talking about other people who came over here.
All you need is some candy bars and shoestrings.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's just like saying everybody sings. Be careful.
Yo, hold up. Yo, Simo, share a story where your integrity was tested, bro.
Okay, so last week I let y'all know. Last week, the last show we had, right? I was speaking about how my confidence got tested, right?
Yeah.
So same block, Sunny Chapel Road. You know, the neighborhood was just getting built up. Basically, our house,
roller skating game.
our house was like one of the
We
first.
did have those coochie shorts.
Our house was like one of the first that was built on the block. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
So freaking me and Melvin, like all the kids used to like play in like the houses that were just getting built. You know, they just they're starting to build up the houses or whatever, so they got the structure already up. And so we went up the block. It started raining, so we went into one of the houses that weren't completely built yet, but they had the basement built and it had like the first and second floor built, but like the walls weren't on it yet. But we was in the basement, and then we were like being stupid. We were, of course, 14, 15. And we had cigarettes. He had got some cigarettes or whatever, and we was smoking downstairs. We was like, okay, nobody's seeing us. We can smoke down here. Then next thing you know, I guess this old white lady from right across the street, her house was built already. She was living in it. I guess she called the cops on us or whatever. They came in there, and they was like, "What y'all doing down here? Blah blah. Y'all smoking crack?" He was like, "Crack? What's this?" Like, yo, man, cigarettes, right? He had the gun on us, like. Don't move. He was like, okay. So he was like, what y'all doing? He was like, obviously we smoking cigarettes. He's like, no, y'all smoking crack. Then he came, did the search, took the cigarettes, like, see, this is redness of crack because only people that flip the cigarette upside down inside the box, they put crack in the top of cigarettes. That's how they keep the crack. And we was like, officer, literally, we're just smoking cigarettes. My brother Melvin actually puts the cigarette upside down because it's like called a lucky cigarette. I don't know if you heard about that around here. Some kids do. He's like, oh, no. And he opened it up. He's like, okay, well, I can't find no crack on y'all now. And all this stuff. And I was like, officer, like, seriously, like, we're not doing crack. And he said,
we talking about the police today a lot.
Yeah. And so he was like, he's like, where you live at, right? Melvin gave me, he's like, where you live at, right? And Melvin gave me this, like, don't tell him. Melvin's like, yo, you're going to find out where you live anyway, right? So I was like, well, I live down the street. We just moved in. We're down the street. He's like, he locked us up, put us in handcuffs, put us in the car, took us down the street to my house, took me out, rang the doorbell. My mom come out the garageway, and she looking at me like, boy, I'm about to give you a beating of your life like later, right? The officer was like, yeah, your son and his friend was over there in the abandoned one of the houses, and there was cigarettes. And I think they were smoking crack and all this stuff. My mom looked at him and was like, seriously, my son's smoking crack. Like, you honestly think he's smoking crack? You honestly think a crackhead would be able to tell you exactly where they stay at and get you to bring them over there? And then he resist arrest, all this stuff. She was talking all these words like. Resist arrest, all this. Like, no, but we have reports out here that people are doing crack and drugs. And she's like, oh, really? So you have reports out here that people are doing, yeah, obviously people are doing drug stuff, but my son ain't doing that. He's like, my son might smoke cigarettes. I smoke cigarettes. That might be my fault a little bit. However, he smokes cigarettes. Okay.
You know what I mean? Crack.
He ain't smoking no crack. Like, did you find any crack on him? Like, she went in on him, right?
How did you know
and
how
then
to
she
smoke
said,
crack?
and then she said, what you need to do is be thinking of how this teenager right now did not resist arrest on you, told you exactly where he lived, had the integrity and fortitude to take you to his house and get caught still by me, his mother, when she knows he's going to get a butt whooping later, but he still had the integrity to do that and come over here. And the officer was like, well, I just don't want no problems in this area. She's like, yeah, well, while you're over here wasting your time on my son, that he only did something with smoking cigarettes that I could punish him for, you probably wasting your time with people across the street smoking crack. Up the block who's selling drugs. How about that? He was like, they pulled the whip around and went up to the other house. I was like, damn, mom, you snitched on people, integrity check. She was like, yeah, but son, you ain't do no crack. Smoke a cigarette, get your butt in the house. Melvin, call your parents right now. Melvin called up. His brother answered the phone, acting like pops or whatever. I was like, y'all can't believe you. Can you bring yourself home right now? I was faking. Wow. And Melvin looked at me on the phone. He had to be at the sad face. So his integrity was off, but he had the sad face. My mom was like this, yeah, he looked like this. And then he looked at, and he looked at me and was like, say, yo, Corey, man, I gotta go home, man. I'm probably grounded too, yo. I'm done, yo. I'm like, all right, man. See you at school, yo. Right? And I gave him that face like, whatever, okay, I already know that was, brother.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
What you think about?
Oh no, I got it. It was like a week, 2 weeks, but it was like, but because the fact that I had integrity to keep it real with the police officer and bring them to my house, the punishment for my mother wasn't as severe, you know what I mean, as it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't locked up in, she didn't have to pick me up from the police station, nothing like that. And but it was just the fact that my integrity was there, but still somebody else tried to make it seem like I was lying or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But they had no evidence, no proof. So this just goes to show, even when you have integrity for yourself and then able to speak the truth amongst others, some people probably still not gonna believe you. You know what I mean? Just off the strength of making assumptions and judgments and all of that stuff. But that was my integrity story, yeah. So,
Did you get beaten down?
my mom, yeah, and I ain't talking about no pat on the hand, going time out, be in the corner. No, I'm talking about a real beating, and you ain't gonna forget that, like beating, like no, it ain't no belt. No, she don't in my face. You know what I mean? Because my mom's smart. My mom knows she put. Come on, back. You know how that started when kids have bruises and they go to school and they get. No, my mom used to. She hit me like. She had to be the father. She had to be my father and my mother at the same time. Used to be my dad. So she did that. I got my brother.
I thought I could be my brother. I had a microscope. I used to love microscopes. Why you looking at me like that?
Because I want to know where the integrity fits in. I'm always curious to know how you gonna weed that.
I had a microscope.
Say wait.
I always used to look at bugs and all kind of stuff up under there. But it was rainy outside, so I wouldn't get no sunlight. So I had to bring the lamp and put the lamp down on the table. Lay the lamp down on the table, take the shade off so I can get a strong ray so I can look up. I guess it was wet on the table. So I laid the lamp down and the light bulb just popped, like, wow. It freaked me out. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get whooped, man. I'm like, this mama gonna kill me. And she was in the kitchen. So I grabbed the belt and went in the kitchen and took it to her. Yo, I grabbed the belt and gave it to her, yo. I was like, I broke the light bulb. Go ahead. She was like, I ain't gonna beat you because of that. Go ahead. So I came up like, here you go. Right? Like I already sniffling. But oh man.
That's like bondage.
Yeah. I don't know why I found it. Wow, man.
Wow.
Okay.
Maybe I had done something.
What's it, man? What's up?
Oh man. I'll share a small story. Actually it's a little personal, but I don't care. No, I don't care. It's about integrity. It was the integrity of another person. So I ain't be all times and dates and all that other kind of stuff, but
Don't do it.
yeah. So I'm away, right? And me and my relationship is on the rocks a little bit, right? And I'm not sure if we're gonna be together or not. But basically, when I went away, you're like, yeah, well, I don't know if it's gonna work out. I'm like, all right. So I'm away, and yeah, today it's gonna work out. We still talking and stuff, and I'm kind of got hopes in the back of my head, back of my heart, and I'm like, yo, I hope this works out. Maybe we can be together. This. So maybe like a month before I'm ready to come back home. Yeah, she takes a trip and goes to Miami with her friends. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not tripping. I leave here in a couple of weeks. So yeah, maybe like 2 weeks before I'm ready to come back, I get a call. She's like, yeah. Like, all right, cool. How was the trip? This, blah, blah, blah. And, she started crying. I'm like, oh, Lord, what's going on now? Drama. Like, yeah. I slept with a couple guys. And, yeah. So his face, like, I could laugh about it now because it was such a deep punch to the stomach. Like, you gotta understand, I was in love, deeply in love. And to experience that type of honesty, so raw and pure, at that point in my life, it hurt, like it cut deep. It was like you being stabbed. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather have been stabbed than hit at. You know what I'm saying? But the experience itself was not cool. It hurt. But what happened, which was strange for me and different, was the level of respect and the level of unconditional love that came out of experiencing something like that. Like, I mean, of course, initially you be hurt, like to the core, you hurt. But the thing is, where I was at, I was alone most of the time. And that silence, just being quiet and like being in my own zone and being able to process it and play with all the imagery and trying to figure out how it happened and who it was and this, like all this imaginary thought processes, all this stuff that takes place amongst such a silence, such a solitude, you know, amongst a stimuli like that. It was like, the more I played with it, the deeper it hurt, but then it hurt so bad that it came to a point where it just went away. And it was like a complete flip in stimuli, where it went from rage and hate and sorrow and victimization and this and all these low frequency vibrations into a sense of acceptance, self-love, and forgiveness, because I couldn't do nothing. Like there was nothing for me to do. I was stuck there by myself and I had to deal with it. But the thing is having to deal with it and be that honest with myself over such a long period of time, I came to a place of like accepting it. And then it was like, you know what? I'm good. And from that, I recognized how much I actually loved the person, because I had to recognize that they didn't have to do that, like at all. They didn't have to tell me nothing, like at all. But the gall and strength of honesty that it took to let me know was just like a testament to how much the person cared about me. Like, yo, I care about you so much, I cannot lie to you. And I need to tell you this because it's hurting me. And I have to forgive myself in order to allow that and release this information to you so you can deal with it and process it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, at that point, it was like, you know what? I can let this go because I recognize that there's a love there that's beyond the separation. And we all doing the best that we can. And when it comes to sex and all the kind of stuff, we're experiencing the human experience, and the illusion of separation is what it is. But the thing is, at the time, I'm like talking my talk and saying, you know, this. But at that time, I was forced to walk my walk. Like, bruh, is it unity for real, or you just playing? Is it nice to say this, or do you really have love for everybody? Is the love unconditional, or is it conditional? Like, what are you about? What you say you about on a daily basis? And at that time, it was a pill I had to swallow. Cause then it's like, bro, ain't no turning back from this. If you bought what you say you bought, then you're gonna have to swallow it and be a man and forgive.
You ever been so honest that it bothers people?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I remember one time, man, I was just so honest. I guess it was like an army situation. They was getting mad at me because I wasn't lying.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, I know you lying. It's like, why you gotta lie for? Like, I'm telling you exactly this. No, it can't be like that. It can't be like that. It's like, yeah, it can. It's just like there's no fear in there. I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna be honest and tell you.
It's like
what's going on.
It's like trying to wake somebody up that don't want to wake up. Like if you're in a deep sleep and you wake them up, they be pissed off at you. Mm-hmm. That's probably what that is, because they wanted to see all of that. Mm-hmm. You know, like they wanted to be lied to. They kept with the lies. They believed in it so much that it became reality. And then when you tell them, nah, this is what it is, they be like, nah, you lying. That can't be true. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's.
Well, lies are way better than cooler than the
truth. So keep the conversation going. They keep the conversation going. You try to figure out, okay, that shit don't make no sense. We're gonna go into this.
You know what? I'm gonna quote that real quick. So I said lies are way cooler than the truth.
We got one more story, yo.
Yeah.
Miss Laura Marie.
Oh, she wanna tell a story?
Yeah, she wanna tell the story.
Okay, actually we gotta do the break first, then we'll come back and then we're gonna do the stories from everybody else. All right, cool. Yo, so let's go to the next track.
I got you.
We'll hit you in just a sec, Laura. Give us a second.
And I ain't gonna lie, I need to get up.
My
My right butt cheek hurt.
Pause on that one.
Very cool.
Oh.
That's very possible.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so for the very big reason that we just spoke about, the police. Hey, shout out to all the honest, integrity having people that's protecting and serving out there. Shout out to y'all. The ones that aren't, it's all good. Y'all got a chance to change, so go ahead and make that change, man, for the betterment of everybody.
You heard?
So with that being said, I'm gonna go to old school track, ABC, or better known as Ace Boom Coon, featuring your man right here, Born 13.
13.
And AZ. This is a classic joint, and I think this was the time of when that incident with the young man that put his hands up.
Yeah, it was some years ago.
Yeah, so that's around this time, and there's a couple tracks in this era. When you look it up on Universal Brothers, I'm gonna send a link to y'all, of course, and you'll hear a couple tracks that have some relevance to that time of era. We actually expressed ourselves in a way. Well, they did. This was before I even had my first track with AZ, but yeah, they expressed themselves to the fullest and always let the truth be known. So without you know, making it a revolution or a revolt in a way. So here we go. Ace Boom Coon.
We're gonna turn it on. Gonna bring you the power. Kids, study your ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Catch a venereal disease, playing with the birds and the bees. We tried to hug the sun of the trees, but light is burned at 1,977 degrees. Hands in the air for Mike Brown, now freeze. Hold on, wait, I can't breathe. Like Arizona iced tea, now taste the rainbow. A million hoodie march. Oh my golly gosh. Leave with the beaver under a jeeper. Are you a pitcher or a receiver? Come on, 13. Yeah. Well, here's a little something that needs to be heard. Treaties broken. Words spoken, Kimosabi. Your word is your bond, even when sitting in another man's teeth. Creepy, like loving hip hop on TV. Sleazy, like Jocelyn and Stevie. Control social network highway. Post-mention sideways. These are the days. Nostalgic like tagging the New York subways. Yeah, once a crime, still a crime, now paid. Lines form for days like hip hop says parade. Oh, yeah. Hey, come on, daddy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay, kids, here's the part where you dance. Yeah. Forever. Galactic integration, we on the ground, style over 13. Yeah. Still with it. The liberation of humanity, you know what time it is. You see the time. Yo, grooving, into the notion, cooling, cousin overdosing. Lady seeing, you know I'm presenting fully conscious like being seeing deep into the meaning of the heritage, cultural exchanges, just the evil, what a language of the promises, it's how a record hip hop album. Yeah, all the sources have been helpful and pursue the happiness, kinda clever. A form of hatred, chasing money is enslavement, razor blades, sliding boards to the alcoholic river, red bullets are sponsors, mix it up with the final planet of the AIDS. The opera, a classic records show the love retreated to the kingdom of the God, believe before Atlantis. Even started is the cusp, let's awaken. Coexistence is the coolest. It's a piece we keep it realer. Show, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, all the flavors you can savor. But the sun showing the spectrum. Spectacular, the next divine conception. Ask my mama and my daddy, one with one eye open. Blue baseball suited. An invention for the heavens, son of record, something special. Too specific, call tailored for the observer. Guys of vibration, spokesman of a nation. Yo, throughout the sector, many older solar systems, gentle presence, love letters for my brethren. The globe is changing, not dependent, there's no separation. It's your own forgiveness, that's reparation. All means all colors. You are not the body. You got the Anunnaki. It's the love is harmony. World Kimosabi. Dr. Sebi, don't be ready on the surface. We club back 10, 30. Yeah. And Johnny Brown's no doubt will not be ready indeed. Elohim. Salute. Yeah. Commander Ashtar, Archangel Michael. Succession. Love. Yeah. After 13,000 years, you tell me this now let experience where all illusions dissolve and realizing you are eternal. Beyond the insanity of reincarnation cycles, beyond the lack of limitation of monetary systems, this is your liberation. Know that all are reflections. This is the essence, which is love. Having this foundation within you, and the divine truth always being peace. Release. Yo. Love. Divinity. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to Let's Build here in our talk about integrity. And of course, we've reached one of our favorite aspects of our talk today, and that is our communication directly with you here, our online community, which is always a great blessing. Thank you guys for being here and for staying, spending a little evening time with us. Of course, it's Thursday, heading into the weekend, and we are speaking on the nature of integrity. Now it is time for us to speak to you. Here we got a story to somebody wants to share a story with us.
Yeah, we got Miss Laura Marie.
Laura Marie, what's up, lady? Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, that's gonna be
How are you?
Good.
Yes,
Oh, well.
way terrible. Son.
Oh, well, you're looking at us instead.
It's all good. What's good, Laura?
It's hard to hear you guys.
Once again,
It's hard to hear you guys.
it's hard to view me.
Hear it. Hear it.
It's hard to hear us. Should I talk louder?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Amun has an LG, so.
Oh, no wonder.
Yo, step your game up, yo.
It's all good. So.
Time for an
I don't even know upgrade. It does what I needed to do.
level up.
Especially I'm not gonna get no tracker iPhone. But what's your story though?
Yeah, what's good, Laura? Talk to us.
Okay, so my story is of integrity is just letting go of the acceptance of my family because it was holding me back and it wasn't allowing me to be free. So I let them go, and I just kind of have been centering into myself. It really allowed me to have more integrity because my whole life it was based on fear. So it's been a beautiful journey.
Absolutely. Always a beautiful journey. Once again, the personal integrity is in recognizing that self-love is the foundation of all love. And once again, as you heal, it's necessary to embrace your own essence and do what it is that you feel intuitively in basically maintaining a sense of balance and that level of self-love and allowing yourself to expand journey. So once again, a great thing. Thank you for sharing. Once again, we're still awaiting your package. It's on the way, right?
You sent some
It's on
cookies?
the way. It should be there any day, maybe today.
Okay, some cookies in there.
You sent some cookies?
We like cookies. We like cookies.
I want some Minnesota cookies.
Trying to get some of that water from Lake Minnetonka over there.
Minnesota cookies.
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. That's Jay. Jay Money.
What's up, Jay?
Can't hear them.
What's up, Jay? What's good, baby? Yeah, no doubt. He's a little shouting.
Who them?
I can't hear.
What?
You can't hear? Yes. Swat got an LG, bro.
What about now?
Well, we'll catch you guys next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for tuning in. Miss Laura
Absolutely.
Marie just tuned in.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what's good, CeeLo? You got something else for us, bro? You got some other stories, some comments? Y'all tracking that?
Stories, let's check.
There we go.
Now, we got
Like, what happened?
I don't have
Integrity.
anything up on the boards. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all would like to share some stories, this is the time.
Oh no, it's already been blocked.
Any questions that you may have in relevance to integrity, please go ahead and send them through. Oh, okay, here we go. Mel, I got one from Mel. The experience that has brought me to trust and forgive a previous employer in saying this: I have known within my heart that the upheaval will resolve. Trusting what I know in my heart, regardless of what others project at me and my employer. Integrity and not putting another down. Integrity and trusting my heart, regardless of what it seems. Integrity and doing what I feel to do in the situation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Word.
Once again, they're always necessary.
I was like, I know you talking.
Well, once again, always an aspect or reflection of oneself as you continue to trust yourself and refine your own essence. You allow people the opportunity to show you or to express their own level of integrity. Yes, throughout the linear experience, sometimes people will express themselves from a place of misalignment or through the ego mind, or do things that are self-centered or self-serving and not for the greater good of the whole. However, once again, these expressions or experiences that we align with, they aren't random circumstances or random connections. Throughout the experience, as we evolve and expand and mature within alignment with ourselves, we're still connected with these people. They're here now, with them still being here and with us continuing to heal. We can provide these souls with opportunities to redeem themselves and show that there is a sense of hope for humanity. As we change, there's a change of our environment. We change in dimensional frequency. As we evolve and continue to raise our frequency, we actually change realities. Now, there will be those within the ego mind that say, oh, no, I'm changing, but they're not changing. That person always gonna stay the same. They're gonna be like that forever. They always gonna be like that. He always been a liar, it's just this. But once again, in realizing that you're changing, we have to recognize that you're the foundation and source of the entire reality that you're experiencing. As you change, the people around you change by default because you're within a different dimensional framework. When you change and you switch dimensions, that doesn't necessarily mean that only you've changed. The entire reality changes. As you change and heal and continue to evolve and expand in your frequency, you actually experience aspects of self or reflections of self that are more aligned, more peaceful, more in alignment with their true selves. And because this is the frequency that you're vibrating upon. I'm not saying it's always going to be the case, but once again, if a soul is still there and you follow your intuition and embrace yourself, there's going to be opportunities where the time is appropriate for you to embrace others and allow others the opportunity to take on a certain level of responsibility where they have the ability to redeem themselves in a way based on your judgments or the things that have happened in the past. It's not about cutting everybody off. Well, they messed up and this, and you never give him a chance again because he's going to always be like this or whatever. And to count people out, to cut people off is to count yourself out, to cut yourself off. It's not always going to be like that. We all do things, make mistakes and failures. But if we're not willing to give life a chance, we're not willing to give ourselves a chance. And from a place of compassion and unconditional love, we have the maturity to do so. So I can't tell you what to do with your free will, but in operating from a sense of compassion and unconditional love, as we become lighter and more loving and more open-hearted within our spiritual maturity, we're willing to give life another chance. As we forgive ourselves, we have the ability to forgive others. And regardless of what happens and what takes place, it's not detrimental. You may give a soul a chance and they may prove otherwise once again, or do the same thing they did before. But regardless of that, it's necessary to know that what you're here to do, what you're here to accomplish, no one can stop that. No one can stop what you're here to do, regardless of the decisions you make and the mistakes or lack of integrity another may have. They will not stop you from doing what you came here to do, period. So it's worth it just to give life a try. Be open-hearted and accepting of others beyond the judgments and continue to operate from a place of compassion. I got something.
Sherry.
Yeah, I want to
Sherry
see.
White.
This is big right here. Andrea, it's not a question, but it's something real big.
Yeah.
She says she forgave a man who murdered her sister, fiance, and his son back in May. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, that's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just recent too. So
Absolutely.
much love to you for having
Much love and much healing. Once again, as leaders, there's opportunities for us to heal on very, very, very deep levels. We're dealing with the physical illusion, and sometimes situations will be presented where souls will leave this plane of existence. However, from your level of awareness and awakening, we recognize the nature of the illusion. There are no mistakes within this reality. And sometimes souls choose to leave through means that aren't the most gentle. Sometimes it's through the hands of what we may perceive or consider others. But at the same time, we recognize that all souls are eternal and we're here to experience what we experience and serve, make the connections that we've intended to do, and then leave this plane through a various infinite number of means. It's just, once again, all are serving the whole and realizing the nature of divine truth. And this experience is serving you in a way that is so dynamic on such a deep level of your being that it is truly a blessing that has the same capacity of intensity on the synergetic side of the house, where the same synergy or the same energy, the intensity of that energy will express itself in your life with the same level of intensity that it has through distorted means of a person expressing themselves in a way that feels as if they've taken a soul from your reality. However, once again, these souls always stay with you and are eternal. So thank you for sharing your story and continue to be open and continue to express your level of love. Thank you so very much, Andrea.
So we got Sherry White. We need integrity of thought, word, and deed for people to be able to follow us as leaders. This is how they come to trust us. People won't follow someone they don't trust.
So first and foremost, leaders lead themselves. It's not necessarily about a follower or to appease followers. Leaders intend to connect with other leaders, even when it comes to co-creations. Even when it comes to co-creation, it's never been about followers. Followers are to trust themselves, and as they trust themselves, they can trust those that they consider leaders. However, it takes a leader to trust themselves and actually trust another, and never a follower-leader relationship. A true leader is not interested in gathering followers. A true leader intends to inspire other leaders. This is the nature of true divine leadership. It's never to attract those who are willing to blindly or even consciously follow the intentions of another. All have intentions, all have special gifts that they're here to share, and a reality that they're here to cultivate through their work, through their sense of presence. So once again, it's always been about a leader leading themselves and not attempting to lead others, to lead followers. However, yes, integrity of thought, word, and action is a personal choice that an individual within a leader's position or a leader's posture is to embrace within themselves, and not necessarily for the purpose of appeasing others or those he considers a followers. Y'all got anything else, bro?
Carry chew.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Oh, only love is real. Now having more of the inward focus and true heart connections with others with joy, compassion, and just being my true self.
Mm-hmm. Only love is real. You know it. Intuitive expressions always. Thank you so very much for sharing, Carrie. Beautiful indeed.
You got something, C's?
No,
I got Val as well. She commented on something I said earlier. Good guys finish last, but in truth last forever.
Woo! Woo! Say that one more time, man.
Good
guys finish last, but in truth last forever. We've been shown to fool each other, securing only instant gratification.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
those lacking alignment never build a legacy through eternity.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for clearing that up for us.
Well, I'm in Brock. Good guys finishing last.
Yes.
You did.
I like last.
We out here.
Who says you're a good guy?
True that.
No, somebody
We out here. We out here.
I'm just cool.
You gonna be another snitch?
I'm just
Snitch number 3 in the room.
No. I'm just cool. He's super dope.
I don't know, not including everybody.
Well, not for everybody. But for those that don't know,
That was ATL.
Yeah.
Say, I share a brew with the concrete. We the good guys out here on these mean streets. You dig? Straight up and down. What it do? Y'all ain't got nothing?
I don't see nothing else. You got something, team? Because my feet is slow coming through.
I got everything. I don't see nothing. Nothing solid. Nothing solid. Nope. That's nice. Y'all scared to tell the truth or what?
Oh.
integrity.
No judgment. No judgment. You know what I mean?
Calling all cars.
Absolutely. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all have anything, any stories to share, any insight to share on the nature of integrity from your own experience, here within the Linear Illusion, you are welcome to do so here in our comment section.
Laura Marie says, the inner feels so wonderful when one is integral.
Most definitely. Most definitely. This is the innate intuition that we spoke of earlier. Of course, that feeling of comfort, that feeling of wholeness within our beings is where we recognize our alignment with who we are in truth. And we talk about this sometimes, and when you do something that just makes you feel like excellent inside, that feeling of that bliss that's brought about by that action is reflective of your innate intuition, which is gauging your alignment with who you are in truth. That's why it makes you feel good when you do it, and it's like, that felt good. And it's like there's nothing actually saying, hey, yo, you did a good job or whatever. It's just your heart space saying, yes, that was intelligent. That was loving. This is what we're here for in the human experience, to express. This is an alignment with the truth of you. And anytime you're doing something that's outside of that, you're going to feel a little weird. You're going to feel funny. You're going to feel out of alignment or out of place, because it's not necessarily your character. It's like, yo, why you do that, bro? You know that's not the truth of you. You know that ain't what's up right there. There's nobody telling you. It's nobody outside of you telling you that. It's just something that you know inside of yourself.
You feel it already.
You know, of course, you feel it. You know what I mean? But the same feeling, and this is a perfect example, that same feeling is the feeling that you get when somebody's standing in front of you and they lying to you. You don't know why you know they lying. Why do you know they lying to you? But you know they lying to you. You have that same exact feeling that you have when a person is totally looking you in your face and lying to you. When you do something that's out of alignment with your character, with the truth of yourself, you have the same exact vibration within your presence. It's you telling you that you lying to yourself. Mm-hmm. But the thing is we have that internal gauge. It's just a person's level of personal integrity and value and spiritual maturity, which is able to recognize that as me telling me that was whack. Ain't nobody outside of me looking and all other kind of stuff. Like if I sit and if I lay in the bed half the day, I'm gonna wake up and feel whack, because it's like, yo, you know that's not you. You know that's not what you're here to do. Get up and go to work. Nobody got to tell me to do it. Oh, you need this. Like, no, this is not who you are. Get up and go to work. You know what you're supposed to do. You're a leader. And nobody got to tell me that. It's just a personal feeling. It's something deep within my own heart, because of my own values, because of the morals that I've built up upon myself as a person, all the things that I've been through. It's like, you've been through too much crap to be sitting here still asleep in the sun halfway across the sky. Like, oh my God, are you serious? Get up and go to work. It's the same feeling, B. So once again, it's a personal gauge through your experiences. Integrity has nothing to do with people watching you. It's your ability to be honest with yourself. It doesn't matter who's looking at you. It's not matter. It's about you being honest with yourself and knowing what you came to do. We can all talk a good game and say what we came to do, and we got to do this, and we're going to blah, 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 say the planet, this. But for real, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the person in the mirror. And nobody's going to make you do it. It's free will. Nobody's going to make you do anything. It's your choice to be a leader. However, it's necessary that the leader check themselves, police themselves.
That's it. That's the only thing.
Absolutely. So, authenticity with integrity and self-love. Yes, ma'am, Choo-Choo. Authenticity, being authentic. Self-loving. I love myself enough to know and recognize my own capabilities and embrace them on a daily basis. Know what you're here to do. It's only necessary for you to buckle down and lace up them boots and do what you came here to do and stop lying to yourself. That's it. So, you heard?
Pause on this.
Yeah, pause on that, son. So, I was asked a question, and I was honest in my response. It felt great because I did not say what they expected. I was honest in speaking from the heart. Confidence, male, of course. And that goes back to what Amun said earlier. Awakening is not about making friends. It's not about being liked. It's about awakening. And awakening is about telling the truth, not necessarily to other people, but to yourself. Being honest with yourself about who you are, the blessing of breathing that you have, and if you actually honor that blessing by being whole and respecting the nature of your presence, all that is taking place in this now moment in respect to your presence, in alignment with who you are to shine the light. This comes naturally with experiencing or expressing a level of integrity with one's own sense of presence, the respect of life itself. The gratitude for life itself is in one's level of integrity, self-respect, respecting oneself through an expression of divine truth and realizing who I am as God and expressing that which I feel from the heart space, from a place of love. However, from a place of truth, where I feel a sense of alignment with my being. I'm not tap dancing or beating around the bush or sugarcoating things in order to bring a sense of comfort in others, but a sense of comfort which is based on a sense of wholeness and divine truth with my own sense of being, with my own values. The values that have been cultivated based on me cultivating my sense of awareness, my own sense of presence. It's not about speaking to the awareness or level of consciousness of another, but to my own, where through that I am able to expand continuously. I'm not here to dumb down things to reach a broader audience. This is the search for outer attention. This is me being dependent on a collective or an audience for me to express what it is that I'm expressing. Either you get it or you don't. However, there is an intent to connect, but I will not curb my own personal integrity to do so. This is what we're talking about today. Personal integrity, my own level of consciousness. It will not be curved in order to serve the intentions of others or self-centered intentions of gathering an audience or validation or confirmation from a broad audience of people who applaud that which I say or that which is being expressed from a sense of ego. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, integrity is the nature of our talk today. I say we're not here to, well, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm here to love. I'm here to love in completeness as much as I know how, unconditionally, from my own level of consciousness. This is how I know how to love at present, through telling the honest to God truth, honest to self, honest to who I am as God, and telling that truth, expressing that to you. And telling the truth Sometimes you're not going to say things that people want to hear, but it's the truth. A lot of times you're going to say the things that people don't want to hear. Why? It either makes them uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable because what you're saying is out of alignment with what they're doing. But at the end of the day, as leaders, a lot of times we're doing the things that most people aren't doing. Because we're leaders. We've embraced the strength enough, the strength or the level of strength to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves and recognize that which is not in alignment with who we are in truth. And that takes a lot of strength. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. And the hardest thing in the world is to look oneself in the mirror and tell the truth and accept that you got work to do. And it's very hard work. This is the hardest work that's being done on this planet. I've done physical labor before. There's plenty of people who get paid millions of dollars to look at people every day and lie. Lie. They get paid so much money and are considered geniuses to sit there and lie to a whole bunch of people all day long. Millions of dollars to just lie. I was being paid handsomely to lie. However, I recognize what the level of honor and principle I have for myself did not allow me to do so, because I intend on having a family. And when I have a family, I will be known as King Daddy. And when I speak to my kids about integrity and telling the truth and ethics and morality and doing the things that they resonate within themselves, I would be a hypocrite if Daddy was going to work every day lying. I can't do that. I'm too much of a leader to do that. I will not do that. I don't care how much you're paying. You cannot purchase my sense of personal integrity. I'm not for sale. So once again, if there are no stories, comments, questions, we'll move on to our last song selection for this evening by our maestro, Overseas. And then we'll return to see if there's anything else that we need to address and close out our session for this evening on integrity. What's good, CeeLo?
All right. Yeah, with that much intensity that AZ has expressed, as much truth in himself and how he would express that to even his own children that aren't here yet. Yeah, and the hard work and integrity that you have to keep going straight forward and not curving anything in truth. I'm gonna go ahead and play this song. It features Eric Thomas. I don't know if you guys are kind of know about this guy. He's a motivational speaker, and he goes around the cities in the States, usually in cities that are like with troubled youth and things of that nature. Not just there, but now more in like universities of that nature as well. And he has a lot of inspirational things to say, more so of if you want something or if you want to attain something and truly be all that you can be, then you got to go for it. And you can't wait on anybody to tell you that you need to or things of that nature, kind of like what AC was talking about earlier. So this song is titled Flame Phoenix, and it's also on the Universal Brothers page, and I'll go ahead and play that.
Here's the problem. The problem with most people is that you're not obsessed with improvement. I'm gonna say it again because you missed it. Me speaking is just a dessert. This is just the beginning. My wife will notice the difference. My kids will know a difference. Why? I'm obsessed with improvement. Every day I'm getting better. There are those of you with phones, and every new phone that comes out, you get it. Every upgrade, you get it. Every piece of software, you get it. You are upgrading your technology, and you've not upgraded yourself.
But you gotta upgrade the LG.
I challenge you. Be obsessed with improvement. Be obsessed with improvement. Be obsessed with improvement.
Sun shining. All right. Forever be sky. Look, this time around you're rolling tough. Yeah. Look, this time around you're rolling tough. Yeah, get on the ground, man, long enough. Bigger getting triggered and expansion, got me burning, but sweating off the back, building muscle, cocking back, slingshot the outer space for my yacht. So it's that it's making hot, you know about the pop, boom. So allergy on the drop, man. Yeah, off the ropes, this the final round, you know the truth. Rock clear down. Realer than a honeysuckle, it's over dark and set the light doubles. A gentle moment where you know God came out. Real rising, it was inside. Flying high on every rhyme, shine blinding every line. Blow your heart up with mine, never ever have to try. Cause I am creator of this loving path, did it on my own behalf. Aspect of a vast multiverse, not destroyed, I create. Even darkness on the walk, that's the develop through the torch. As a catalyst of strength to do a job for the hawk. Tougher than you ever could have thought. Yeah. We up in here. Red. Salute. We on the ground.
And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Listen to me. You gotta want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat. If you gotta, somebody came in my office the other day crying. I said, look, don't cry to give up. Try to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. But listen to me, you will never be successful if I don't have to give you a dime to do what you do. You won't be successful if you say I don't need that money. Because I got it in here. It's in my heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You gotta have heart. That's number one. What's number two? The most important thing is this. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. I'm saying to you today that there's some of you, if you give up your cell phone, you will be successful. But your cell phone is more important to you than your success. I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Some of you need to give up your cell phone because the time you spend on your cell phone could be used for your success.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us here at Let's Build. Today's episode, of course, has been about integrity, a most powerful build that's necessary for us to realize what is necessary for us to do the work here on planet Earth and being the leaders of this new Earth, this freedom that we are realizing amongst the species for ourselves, for our families, for all life living not only here on the planet Earth, throughout this dimension, throughout this universe, and throughout the multiverse as a whole. This is what we're here to do. This is the service that we all volunteered to embrace here on this planet, in this physical vessel. Now that we realize what it is that we're doing here on the planet, it would be an injustice to all of the lives, all of the experiences, the vast linear unfoldment of all that is this now moment. The 13,000 years that it has taken to experience this now moment here on the surface of planet Earth has been about this moment, the awareness of being alive and the opportunity to evolve right now. It has all been for the purpose of being here right now. When we talk about opportunities a lot, this is the greatest opportunity that you have. The breath, the ability to breathe, to exist, to realize that you're here on a planet that is moving out of the hell planes, out of so many generations of suffering, into a space of liberation, into a path of a great joy that is eternal in nature. In order to embrace such an opportunity, it's necessary to be open and to be honest with yourself. Those of the heavenly realms are not concerned with your beliefs. Your beliefs require a sense of healing where these belief systems dissolve. Beliefs are temporary and have no foundation in truth. They're based in doubt. There's only knowing here. The knowing that has brought you here. The knowing that you've trusted, those of you that are amongst an audience that represents the most sensitive souls here on planet Earth. You're intelligent. That sensitivity is an expression of your wisdom, of your intelligence, of your spiritual maturity. This level of wisdom is what has brought you here. To recognize that which is being expressed not only from this vehicle, but more importantly, from your own heart space. This is information that you know deep within yourself. It's not that I'm saying anything that's new. You resonate with this information. It's because you know it in yourself already. It's only being expressed here from this platform. A congregation is only in joy in recognizing that which is being said at the pulpit and being something held deep within their own heart space. Once again, there are no followers here. It's not a cult. We don't want you to do anything. We don't want anything from you. If anything, just being able to share a space with you in this now moment is a great honor and more than enough. More than enough. So thank you always for being here. Thank you for continuing to shine the light and be of service. The nature of being here in this grace period on planet Earth is to cultivate that which you have to share. We all have special gifts that we are here to share with life itself. Through our ability to serve and be integral with ourselves, we ground and allow our services to expand. We allow our services to cultivate themselves so we can be of even greater service, of even more efficient and effective services to more life here on planet Earth. So once again, thank you. I'd like to thank all of our guests here at the Ra today, Born 13, overseas, for hosting our musical portion, the God Amun Ra, for hosting our dialogue and making a call to Laura Marie. Thank you, Laura Marie, for chiming in. It was a great pleasure to see you in the physical. Communicate. Big up to Juju. Thank you for chiming in. Next time we'll try to get you in on the flyer connection so the communication is more liquid and transparent. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all of you for shining your light here on planet Earth. Continue to connect. We'll continue to build and speak on that which is necessary for us to cultivate as we serve and shine the light of divine truth for all of humanity here on planet Earth. We love you always. We always appreciate your connection. Until next week, let's build and we move forward. Let's heal. Let's heal. Let's build. And who I am, who we are, the Angelic Realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. I am your Commander Ashtar. I love you. Breeze.